Well, hello. Welcome back to MMM. Sorry we missed you last week. My eye aids were flaring up, and I got to, had to take care of that. But we're back this weekend with a very good movie that I just saw for the first time. We have some new people on the show for the first time. Got a great panel to talk about this and dive into why I think, and Gord might be correct here, this is basically a perfect script, well executed by a very, very good actor. The cast is fantastic. First time watching it for me, so yes, I know I'm gay, but hey, you know what?
Hey, you deserve a gay beer for that.
Yeah,
so
gay
don't
beer.
worry.
Thank you. All right. So yes,
It's like the Vietnamese said, isn't it?
That's for John Lennon.
Side with the blacks. Always side with the blacks.
Black midgets and the white midgets. I can't wait for that war. Anyway,
The wedding.
we're going to get into. We have a great panel. Returning guest, Niat from the other side of the world. My beautiful dark man. How are you doing today?
Howdy, Cannoli. It's a pleasure to be here. I do like this film a lot. I remember watching this while I was at film school and thought it was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. Hadn't seen it in maybe 15 years and rewatched it 2 days ago with the girlfriend. And I didn't have as good a time rewatching this as I did the first time. It wasn't as funny as I remembered. The script also wasn't as tight as I remembered. I did like all of the themes, the character stuff happening with Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson, and Ralph Fiennes is just fucking hilarious. But, we'll get into it. Like it is a great film nonetheless.
So was this a movie that you saw initially in the theater, or was this something you caught later on?
Later on, I think maybe 2-3 years after it was in theaters.
Nice. Matt. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show for the first time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Same thing. So is this something you saw in the theaters initially, or was this like an after thing?
No. I'm in your boat. This is the first time I watched this.
Very nice. Yeah.
Ooh.
I normally avoid comedies. I know it's a dark comedy, but we were literally just talking about this the other day in a group, and they were just like, "Man, he's gonna hate this movie." Because I don't like comedies. Most of them are funny.
Right.
This movie is fucking funny.
Right.
Like. This is my kind of comedy. If you're talking about calling a group of fat white Americans elephants, I'm gonna be dying laughing. Like
It's a bit narrow.
Yeah,
Right.
It's windy up there. It's so good. Yeah, it is. It's pretty damn clever. Yeah, for the first time on the show, Nick from Plot Strikes Back. Welcome, sir. Been meaning to get you on for a while. I'm glad you finally made it onto the show.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation, and it's great to be on the panel with everyone. I originally saw this movie in theaters back in 2008, and
Nice.
I do remember at the time it did have a little bit of a pacing issue. It did kind of seem a little slow at times, but I think because of the cast and when you have three stellar actors in it with Brendan Gleeson, Ralph Fiennes, and Colin Farrell. And I think around that time, Colin Farrell was just like on this huge incline of popularity and success. And I don't remember if that was the same time he had that sex tape that leaked as well, but still just an inclination of being popular.
Hold
right?
on.
Whoa. Oh, Jesus.
everyone Googles.
Don't get
Yeah,
started.
You got time, Vex.
Yeah.
But
Vex just disappears during the stream.
it dropped. I wonder why.
Not long after that, but this is bookmarked for later now. Thank you.
What is going to be her next review on her
stream? Sunday show.
I'm just really breaking
Sunday
down the
stream.
Colin Farrell sex tape.
If you look at the girth here on this angle, sorry, Nick, go ahead.
No, it's totally fine. I'm glad I could shed light on some new information for you.
Yeah.
And everyone else is watching,
shedding something is what's going to be happening.
That's true. Yes. But I think again, it's a fantastic movie. It might be one of my favorite dark comedies, I think, ever. And I watched it the other day again, and I remember some of the parts, but just some of the lines and the dialogue in this movie are just fantastic. So well written. And I'm sure, if this movie were to be made today, there'd be a lot of butthurt people, a lot of crying, a lot of tears, which I do think that's what people should be watching. I think people need to watch this movie and be like, yeah, listen to the dialogue. If you're offended, so be it. I don't care. And just live with it. But just great delivery from everyone. I didn't even know where Bruges was at the time of seeing the movie until they said it's in Belgium. I'm like,
It's in Belgium.
It's in Belgium.
Okay,
Belgium.
cool.
It's a fairy tale.
It's a shithole.
Yeah, I just love how they play on the words though. Like, it's so fantastic about it being a fairy tale city. But
yep, I agree.
So excited to dive into this with everyone.
Hell yeah. White Bear, you beautiful specimen. I know this is the first time you saw this, right?
Yeah. My first time in. So,
Bruges?
Yeah. It's spelled wrong, but whatever.
It's okay.
You can't spell over there, so it's whatever. But I was pleasancy.
Pleasancy?
Right either.
You're thinking of Colin Farrell's fucking man stuff. Is what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was great. So anyway, I was really surprised. It reminded me of like when Bex like offers one of her kind of darker Korean movies or something like that. It just was wild, and it comes out of nowhere at you. So I was very surprised, but in the end, it's freaking Colin Farrell. I love it. So
he's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, in the movie, he's good in the movie. This movie.
Yeah. Put on first.
Yeah. Gar King. Well, Gar King, this is your pick. This is your birthday pick. Well, your birthday's passed, but we gave you a pick. Mm-hmm. You picked this. I'm going to assume, did you see this in the movies?
No, actually, it's funny because I didn't even hear about this movie until at least 4 or 5 years after it came out. I had never heard of it. So I don't think I saw this until 2014, 2015. I saw it at home. And because I think I used to just peruse Rotten Tomatoes for movies that had a good reputation, that had good audience scores and whatnot. And I came upon this one. I think it was around the time Seven Psychopaths came out. That might have been the link there because it's directed by the same person. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was really interesting, had great dialogue. And I've probably seen this now like 10 times. It's one of my favorite movies. I think it has an outstanding script. Lots of really interesting symbolism. I love the way the dialogue kind of does double work where it feels very natural to the film, but at the same time, it's kind of enhancing its symbolism. It's very, heavy into Catholic symbolism and whatnot. But I adore this movie. I enjoy it more and more every time I see it. Yeah.
I'm glad you picked it because it's why I love doing the show. These movies that would never normally be on my radar. I'm like, what the hell is he picking here? What is it? I'm like, oh wow, now I get it. But
the choice, by the way, would have been Amadeus, but it's getting released on the theatrical
re-release
in February, which I was very adamant that I didn't want to do that movie unless it was the theatrical cut, since that is the superior version,
the better version. Yep, I understand. And then of course Vex, my love. So when did you first see this movie? Wow, when did you first see this movie? And then I know you tried to rewatch it today, but was this a late pickup for you as well?
No, I think I saw this like a year or two after it officially came out. Because young Vex was a wee pirate lass even back then. So I watched it on the high seas. And because I like Colin Farrell, I think he's just one of those actors that got thrust into like the pretty boy thrust. Yeah.
He did thrusting, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's thrusting all right.
He got pushed into like that pretty boy mainstream role, and then he found his footing like around 2007, 2008, 2009, and I appreciate him a lot as an actor now. But I have to agree with Niat a little bit here, because my memory of this, because it's been about 10, 15 years as well since I saw this, and my memory was really strong of it. Of like thinking that it was a tight script. It was very punchy with all the jokes. It was just like a bam, bam, bam kind of thing. And I had some pacing issues on rewatch, unfortunately. So it's still a great film, but I think the rewatch value can diminish pretty easily. That's all.
Interesting.
Let's go.
Here's the thing. This is what's kind of funny. No, this is actually what's funny is The second time I watched this movie, I actually kind of agreed. I would have kind of agreed. It's the subsequent viewings after that, because I still really loved the movie. I was just like, it wasn't as good the second time, but I still love it. As I rewatched it again and again is when I started to actually go back up again. So that's kind of funny.
You're more the only thing going back up.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into it.
I was going to say, since Vex and I are on the same page, let's officially start the war against between the whites and the blacks.
Let's do it. Who's the midget? Who's going to be the midget? I ain't no midget. Whitey, you want to be the white midget? You got to pick a black midget.
Too late.
All right, I'll do it.
All right, thank you.
No, actually, we don't have to have the race where I'll just say, you two are weird.
You're
weird. Do some coke?
You want to have some coke? My wife was black. She was murdered by. Never mind. Oh yeah. So opening of the movie starts off right away with the voiceover, kind of giving you some background to what's happening. He killed someone. He dropped his gun into the Thames, and then it was instructed.
It's the Thames, not the Thames.
That's not what he
So
said.
you're gonna correct somebody on.
He does say the Thames.
Are you?
He does say the Thames.
Listen,
Yes.
Commodus. Yeah, this is great. This is what I mean. These little things, like I didn't even know where Bruges fucking was, and he's like, there's a pause. It's in Belgium. It's just like this little tiny, inflection. But yeah, it's just great. And then you get the well, so what do we think about the beginning and the voiceover? Like, you know how we always talk about beginnings of movies and dialogue and character development. You don't get this. Like even this, the first fucking 2 minutes of the movie, you know what this is. It's setting up already very well. And I love Colin Farrell. He plays it so well. How much he hates this place. He doesn't want to be here. It's just not his thing. Just his facial expressions walking in the first 2 minutes of the movie.
He's almost like a petulant child who's being forced to like join his mom while she's shopping or something.
Look at his
face. And it's like that throughout the movie. He literally acts like a 5-year-old. Yeah, and I mean, he tells him that later in the movie. He's like, "You're acting like a 5-year-old," and it's so true. And he does it so well.
Yeah, he just can't. I love this. He's a shithole. And it's probably a very charming, unique town because of all the medieval stuff.
What's funny is a friend of mine and me actually, we saw this for the first time around the same time, and we were actually planning to go to Bruges after seeing this because we got talking about it, but then they actually had a terrorist attack, so we canceled.
Nah, bad idea. Bad idea. I love this where he's given the fake names of whether, and he's like 2 weeks, and they have to share a room together, and he's just like, God, it just gets worse.
And we get our pregnant innkeeper, whose name is basically Mary.
So, yep. Yeah,
some early allusions to
Catholic
symbolism.
I can't believe I forgot the name of this actor. Jesus, Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson.
He's so good. He is so good.
Yeah,
almost everything, but especially in this, man, he's just like his acting.
By the way, I think a really good companion film to this was directed by Martin McDonagh's brother. It's called Calvary, and it's Brendan Gleeson's the star of it. Highly recommend that movie. It's wildly underrated.
Nice. And so I like this part here about how he's bitching, right? Colin Farrell's bitching, and he doesn't like this guy's name's Ken, right? Isn't his name Ken in the movie? Yeah, Ken's like, he's like, I don't want to. He's like, he basically says why they're there. Like the whole reason why they're there is for Colin Farrell's character, but he doesn't want it. Like, so it's a good like introduction as to this whole big dramatic thing that happened to him. You get it right away, but you don't know what it is. But it's kind of the lingering, and I don't know how you guys felt, lingering in the back of my mind, like what the hell happened? What went wrong in London that they had to hide in another country in like this small town? And he gets emotional about it. He even says it here. Why did you have to say that? And it's like he goes into the bathroom and cries, and you're like, shit. What the and it's going to come up later in the movie. And it's done very cleverly, but it's so well acted. Like Colin Farrell just goes for it in this. He kills it.
Rare W for the Golden Globes that they actually awarded him best actor for this.
Rare.
Yeah, and then the whole thing here where they're looking at the site. He's like, it's called sightseeing, and he's looking around like, kill me, please, and he's giving him information about the buildings and.
He almost get the sense that he's never left his hometown before becoming a hitman.
Yeah, well, he brings that up. Actually, he brings a
and so that brings the question: like, how old is he? How old do you think he's supposed to be in this? This is like his
probably
first
like
hit?
early 30s. I get the sense this was his first job.
It was. No, he said it was.
Yeah.
He says it
Okay,
was.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if I read that on outside of the film or if it was actually stated inside. I couldn't remember.
You get the impression that Ray has actually never left Dublin or like the UK before, because like, Ken, I grew up in Dublin. I love Dublin. So I grew up on a farm and was retarded. Bruges might impress me, but I didn't, so it doesn't. So.
Yeah, and again, little things like this scene here. He's like, "What's up there on the tower? The view." And he's like, "The view down here. I could just stay down here and look at that."
Can I just to point, because this is one of the great things this movie does, like so early on too, is it lays this kind of foundation of like existentialism and understanding one's purpose, which it's contrasted really greatly by not just like in him being like, "What the fuck is Bruges? Like I've never heard of Bruges," but also how they spend all of this time like all of these camera shots of what the town looks like, all these little dialogue drops of all of these great historical monuments that still stand, and how he just like that even when they go to the church later on, like he just cannot, like Colin Farrell cannot give a fuck whatsoever. And at the same time, there is clearly this whole this guilt that he's carrying with him, and it would be so easy for him to reframe things much like Ken does, but he tries his darndest not to.
Right.
By the way, nice little dual setup here where you first you get to meet this guy who's he's a dick basically, but it keeps these coins in his pocket, which that comes into play later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Like your work, do you? Very much. Oh God. Yeah, and then he gets to the again, a little foreshadowing here. He gets to the town, and I love how he's like seeing how far what he points like that uses his hand as a gun for what's his name's character, and it's like a little foreshadowing.
It makes me wonder if he knew, like right then and there, that he was here, and this is actually why he's here.
Yeah,
because he was surprised, but I mean he's a professional. He probably knows that's a possibility.
Right.
Although I'm curious if this principle that their boss Harry has ever actually come into play before, so he may not know. It may just be he's just doing it messing around.
Right.
So you could take it either way, really.
Yep. Yeah. And then you get scenes like this with the three American, of course, they're all fucking obese. and like they're standing right in front of him. I'm like, I didn't expect this. And
little chubs. It's all right.
Yeah. Well, the map says that it's a must see. And he's like, you're not going up there, are you?
I'm not being funny.
You know what? Kudos to these three actors, because they're literally playing three characters who their designation is overweight man, overweight woman. It's like you got to have some self-awareness to audition.
Use a bunch of elephants. And then he starts chasing him around. He's like, give it up,
that was the funniest part.
Their chase is so comical because he's not really trying that hard. He's just kind of doing enough to stay away.
Oh my God.
It's like a Marx Brothers moment. I love it.
It's not even good. I'm trying to move out of the way.
It's so good.
Sidestepping.
Yeah.
I love how much fun this movie pokes at like cultural differences. I really enjoy it, because these days when they try to do the same thing in movies, there's always like that. It doesn't have that playful undertone that all of them have in here. It's always meant to be like, oh, it's because of this president or this politician or whatever. So I very much appreciate that it just likes to poke fun at stereotypes, and it does it well.
So well. Clever. Yep. Very clever. I love when they get to the pub here and he's like, here's a gay beer for you.
One gay beer for my gay friend. And one beer for me because I am normal.
And then later in the movie, he's still like, give me a gay beer. Give me a gay beer. Yeah, the guy just gets him a beer. Like he's like, oh yeah, we call them all gay beers.
Basically,
here,
like, oh yeah, he's just saying I'll have what he's having. Basically.
Yeah. And I love how he's back. He's trying to like set the terms and all this. And
you know what's funny is, so because I saw this several years later, you were starting to see that thing in films where if they bring up characters gay, you assume okay they're actually saying he's gay. It's like no, he's using gay and just like oh no, he's just saying he's gay because he likes sightseeing.
Yeah. It's so funny
when we always just use that phrase just for fun and didn't really refer to someone else being like a homosexual. Like
100%.
Right.
You're being stupid. You're gay. Like it's kind of but
one thing that I like that in Martin McDonagh and I've noticed and Edgar Wright both do this, where one character will say a line and then the other one will repeat it just slightly different. And I don't know why there's something that makes it sound really nice. It's just makes it sound more punchy and everything. They both do that really well.
Very well. I love how Ken's got to tell him here, like, listen, stupid, we're here on a job. Don't you know why we're here? And look at why
he says we might. Well, he says we might be on.
Might be, yeah, but like, why do come here? And we could have hit out anywhere. And so it kind of.
Which funny enough, again, this is what I mean by the script kind of doing the double work. Is he's just saying it like as a maybe. He is here on a job. He just doesn't know it.
He doesn't know it yet. Yep, smart.
Yep.
It's like he's right to think it is a bit over elaborate. He's like, it's just only one of you's on the job.
Yeah. I love how Ken's so into this. He's reading sightseeing books. He's eating like the local food and then what's the name of fucking Colin Farrell's character in this movie again? I'm
Ray.
Sorry. Ray. He's just looking out the window like, oh shit. And then he's sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it goes to the whole existential crisis that Vex was mentioning at the start, because Ken is not burdened by anything. He hasn't done anything wrong. He's having a great time. It's a fairy tale over here. Whereas we get the inkling that like there's something eating Ray up inside, and we're just dying to know what it is.
Right.
Yeah. Like, and I know one of the, because I mean, it's like when I was thinking about this movie and the way it's presented and all the symbolism and whatnot, it's like the kind of the big distinction between the, calling it Catholic symbolism, and Christian symbolism is obviously there's crossover there, but Bruges is very much kind of representative of purgatory, but specifically for Ray, it's kind of more paradise for someone like Ken and Harry,
Yeah. I love how he's like, yeah, let's just go out and look at some of those buildings and then I love how Ken's eyes pop right up. He's like, okay, let's go. And he talks about the local language and then he goes into the history here, right? This is interesting. I like this dialogue because he's like, yeah, history. I never liked history, but how about you? And it's just a bunch of stuff that happened already. And it's like, oh.
it's such a simplistic view of it's like it's just a bunch of stuff that already happened. Who cares?
Oh, look, they're filming midgets.
I was so caught off guard at this point. I didn't know this was going to happen.
It's so
I was like, this is amazing.
And then he catches the girl, obviously, and he's infatuated with her.
The Harry Potter fans might recognize from the Goblet of Fire.
Yep.
Floor.
Yeah, and I love how she's trying to explain what the movie is. He's just like, oh, really? His face is like, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about, but I'm just here for you, lady.
I can't recall what they said. That's like it's an homage sequence. I can't remember what American film they said they were doing an homage.
A nod to the head, nod of the head.
Whereas the dwarf basically says, it's just rip off BS. It's like, trash. It's Euro trash.
It's so funny.
And I love how like Ray's pickup line is, do you know midgets get upset and try to kill themselves? Like,
Big disproportionate amount of them. Well, of course, they want to be called dwarves, not midgets. What do you expect? It's like,
I hope yours doesn't off himself. Your dream sequence will be screwed.
Yeah, this one, it's not the R2. He's trying to remember all of them, and he's like, it's not the R2D2, man. No, he's still going. It's like,
the one for Time Bandits.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So is this where? Wait. No, this isn't where it tells her that he's a hitman. Were you jokingly?
No, not yet. He does that at dinner. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That was another funny scene.
Do I look like I kill people?
Yeah. And at first, like she kind of disregards him when he asked her out, but then she like drops her number on the way out on the floor. Look how happy he is. Like, he's going to be doing
cool.
He's going to be in someone in Bruges pretty soon. Well, at least he thinks so.
I just put my hand on her. I didn't.
Yeah. I haven't touched it yet. Yeah. And then, this is where the innkeeper this is where he messes up the name, which she asks, and he's like, oh, yeah, that's me. No, wait, yeah. That's right.
You get this message from him, which you realize, he told her this directly.
Yeah.
Cursing at her the whole time. It's like, gosh.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, dude. This is where he reads the letter out loud. Basically saying, where the fuck were you? Why are you not answering? I have to leave this with the receptionist. Don't be there tomorrow night or there's going to be hell to pay.
What she gives, there's a little note underneath there where she says, I'm not the receptionist, I'm the co-owner.
Yeah. And then this is where Colin Farrell comes into the house making all kinds of noise. And I like how he's like, I'm sorry.
Takes me back to college having a
right?
roommate like
having
that.
a roommate. I gotta take my contact lenses out. He's brushing his teeth and he's just like
fucking lights on.
Yeah, he keeps interrupting him. And, oh god, it's so fucking funny.
Well, the thing is, he's acting like a child here.
He is.
Yeah.
He's acting like an 18-year-old. That's why I was kind of confused as to what his age is.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a 30-year-old wouldn't act like this.
They're
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't understand 30-year-olds anymore. But
no.
Somewhere in the 20s would probably like make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Well, he might be a little bit retarded.
I think so.
There's that too. Yeah.
It could be some.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in Dublin all of his life. So.
He's touched.
Yeah. Talks about being a. I like this in exchange too, where he's like, I'm really sorry about the message. And
to be fair, he like Colin Farrell was about 32 when this movie came out. So I mean, you could argue he's playing late 20s even. So
yeah.
He's a bit of a cock. Oh God.
It really plays into Ken's character there because you see him
Yes.
sightseeing and he's being a gentlemanly kind of person.
Yep.
You kind of forget that he's a hitman also.
Yeah. Probably good.
I also love because everyone in this, like, well, most of the main characters swear constantly, and he looks at the he's like, oh, he swears a lot.
He swears a lot. Yeah. And then Ken's trying to tell him we can't go anywhere, right? We have to stay in because Harry's going to call, and he's like, well, one of us has a date, right? And so
it really only needs one of us to stay in.
Yeah. And I love how he's like, he's like, yeah, we'll do whatever. He's like, we're going to do what I want to do. Was it? Oh God, was it the line? Was it?
Yeah, this is what he says. He says.
Culture and fun.
He says he goes, I assume it'll center around culture, and he's like, we shall strike a balance between culture and fun.
And fun. A little bit more towards culture.
I imagine that tip slightly into the balance of culture.
Here it is. Like a big fat retarded fucking black girl on a seat.
That came out of nowhere. That's tremendous.
Well, but I love that he ends the line with, because you almost feel like he's about to say with a midget, but it's almost like I'm going to be sensitive for this last one.
Yeah.
A dwarf.
A dwarf.
It's like everything else is up to a dwarf.
A dwarf. Oh God. Oh, this is where they go to the old church.
Mm-hmm.
As one of the sightseeing things, and he's like, he's giving them this like really interesting history lesson about these, like this. What was it, like something that came back from the Crusades?
It's there is an actual church like this. It's like this isn't the actual one as far as I know, but it's I guess the legend is it's a Flemish knight from the Crusades brought back like a vial of Jesus's blood, and that sometimes it'll reliquefy in times of great stress, that kind of thing.
Nice. It's the blood of. Do I have to? She's like, you can go and touch the blood of Christ, and he's like, do I have to? You don't have to. It's just push it.
I love these childish faces he has periodically throughout the film too. Oh my, it cracks me up. Oh my god,
he's mocking him. Is fantastic.
Looking like I don't give a shit about any of this.
Yeah,
so funny.
Like no, it's like almost like he's literally ignorant to the point. He's just like he's like, well, okay, so what? And he's like, do you really not get this?
Like,
that's why that would be significant.
Blood. Yeah.
Oh, I read it differently because the surface value read is that he's being a petulant child. He doesn't want to do these things. But in this particular moment, because he'd agreed to go on all these cultured outings, I thought that the reason he didn't want to touch or get anywhere near the blood of Christ is because he didn't feel as though he deserved any sort of redemption.
Because of what he did, yeah.
Oh, I mean, that can definitely be read that way. Sure.
Yeah, that's how I kind of read it too, because we didn't know what happened yet, but we know something happens, and then once we find out, that's where my mind went with it.
Yeah, I have to agree with it. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I have to agree with that assessment too, because right after that scene, this happens, and we have the flashback to what actually went down. So it makes more sense as like, I am not worthy of redemption versus, oh, I just don't want to fucking be here. Like, why are you dragging me around to this? But that's like that's the surface level thing that played like all the body language and mannerisms and whatnot. So it both work hand in hand. Just for there's a lot more going on.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Oh, this thing with the dog. Was that okay? So I know I only have one eye right now, but did I see the dog have a fucked up eye, or was it just
dude? That dog's fucking got the mange.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, I don't only this part here with the freaking. He's like,
that is a homely looking mutt.
He fucking waves to the midget. The midget, this little cunt.
Horseshit.
Yeah, he was on horse.
You warned him about the horse. Yeah, horse.
That's true. It's true. Oh God. Yeah, and then this is where you kind of like, okay, they're starting to build upon, because he sees the kids and you're like, so did he have a family? Did he not? And then we get right to it, like 24 minutes in, they go, okay, we're gonna show you what happened now, and he's like, yeah, I murdered someone, father, and the priest's like, who? For money? And it's like it's back and forth, and you're like, where is this going? And he's like,
I had to say I was, because okay, I mean I know he's not a huge actor, but I mean seeing Syrian Hines for this role, I was like, I really like him as an actor. And he just shows up for this tiny little part, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, wow, he's really kudos to him, showing up for this one." Like I put him in a similar category to someone like Charles Dance, who just doesn't get nearly enough work for how talented he is.
I agree.
Isn't Sian Hans in Justice League talking about the mother box all the time?
He is, yeah.
Yeah. He is. Yep. What a waste.
The mother box. What a name.
Really? Yeah.
I'm never going to forget that.
I remember when Vex first watched Justice League for our show here, and she's like, what, the fucking mother box?
I thought the same thing.
Yep. Anyway, back to boxes. Yeah, so he shoots him inside the confessional, and then this is his first hit. And then he shoots him again, and then you see the kid. I was like, oh, that's
the line that gets echoed later. He says, "The little boy."
Yeah. Oh,
right
so
before he
heartbreaking.
dies, and then you see that, and you're like, "Oh no!"
The shot right here. It's like a beautiful shot. It's like Then Ken comes in. I think it was Ken that came in and grabbed him, right, and pulled him out. Yeah. And it's like, Jesus, man.
And he reads the things he's confessing to. And it's just these very simple
childish things that a kid would, And then they're looking at these paintings of punishment, and like, I love this part when he gets to the one about the purgatory, life after death painting, because he's really trying to reconcile that. And he's like, I like this one because this other stuff is stupid, but this one really, and he has like, explain it to me. What is this? And it's the whole purgatory, life after death, the judgment, all that, right? And it kind of gets to him, because then this is where you get this dialogue. I was talking to Nihat about this backstage about. Even though it's a dark comedy, when it has some really poignant moments where it's like, especially this one coming up. Remember, Gord, we were talking in our chat about it's funny because there's a lot of comedy in the scene when they get to the bridge, but there's also a lot of like really, first of all, great acting, and then just some really heavy stuff they get into.
And it's really balanced and feels very natural, because I mean, it's like a lot of people think that in times where you're grieving or you're feeling guilt that you would never revert to humor. It's like you absolutely do at times. I mean, I was at a funeral weeks ago, and it's like there's quite a lot of laughing during that, whether you're reminiscing or you're just trying to cope, a lot of the times you're resorting to humor.
And then Ken trying to reconcile with himself. He's like, I know, he's like, I know I try to do good, I think, but I still do murder people. He's like, they're not good people. And then he goes into this whole thing. Like here. And you're like, damn. And then he goes into the one person that he didn't deserve. It was like somebody's brother who was defending him, trying to kill him. This fucking lollipop man thing. Again, this is what I'm talking about. Like, I went from laughing to being like, oh, this is really sad. He's like, yeah, my book, somebody comes at you with a bottle, and
which the bottle off. And the karate thing both come up again.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he's like, I thought you said he was a lollipop man. He's like, what the fuck is a 50 lollipop man doing?
But what he goes, well, because he says, if it's bare hands, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Well, technically, you can kill someone with bare hands. What if he knows karate? Why would a lollipop man know karate?
Oh god, it's so funny. But then he's like, listen, I'm trying to tell you something here, and this is where you get like the drama, right? He's like, a little boy died. He's never going to grow up because of me. My choices, my actions. And you're like, fuck, man. Yeah. Again, Colin Farrell is just unbelievable in this. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I mean, sadly, I had kind of put him in that. I mean, the only movie I'd seen before this where I thought his acting was really excellent was probably Minority Report. Because he's very much playing against, I mean, for one thing, he's playing an American, which he does very well, by the way.
Yeah.
But most of the other stuff was, just kind of the pretty boy stuff. But then I watch him this, and I'm like, dang, he's got some serious range.
He's got some
He needs to be put into more stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, people sleep on him for his acting ability, which, you can see in, I think, later on in his career now, of course. But at this time, people just kind of thought as him like a pretty boy, as Vex mentioned earlier.
Yep. 100%. I think also with
like the Brad Pitt, like
sex symbol kind of thing.
Yeah,
which
right.
He's a good looking dude, but he can act. He actually rare thing he can. And I think after the Batman movie with him playing Penguin, people saw.
Absolutely.
Wait a minute, like wow.
Yeah, because they displayed it. Yeah, once you display it on the mainstream, people start to finally take notice.
Because also once you remove how good looking he is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
As the Penguin, I had a hard time being like, that's fucking him.
And then when you watch the show, it's even more like, wow, this guy really he's a fucking, this is like Tony Soprano level, like James Gandolfini playing that role level of acting where it's just so phenomenal.
By the way, real quick, I'm curious because I'm curious if anyone knows a little bit more about this because I just briefly came across this information reading about it. But apparently the swan thing in Bruges harkens back to like some kind of punishment they got from another country.
Sure.
So I thought that was interesting. They kind of keep keying in on
they mentioned
they bring up or they show the swan. This idea of this thing was also part of the punishment for them. And I was just
I didn't know that. That's
curious if anyone knew anything else about that because I just briefly came across it.
That's interesting. I didn't know. Yeah,
they honk at you or something.
So he's going.
Hey, you don't. Hey, you gotta be careful around those things.
Yeah,
the beaks are dangerous.
So he's going on his date and he's nervous, and then the dinner scene again, pretty funny.
They actually tell each other the truth when they
it's like, I'm a hitman. What do you what does he say? Priests and children. I'm a drug dealer. I give drugs to everybody on the set. It's like, what the fuck? But the dialogue is good. It's quick, it's witty, and their chemistry is really good too. Like they're playing off each other very well. She's not bad looking either. Neither.
No, she's nice looking.
Yeah.
She looks kind of young for him.
You think so?
Don't you think? I don't know. She looks like 18, 19.
I think that's just the actress. She's a very petite woman, so that doesn't.
Yeah, it's like call the police.
She's only about she's only 6 years younger than him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not.
Yeah. So she's just a child, you sick bastard.
But dude, this scene here where he's
think
like,
of the children.
He goes, "Do you think do I look like a hitman or I killed whatever?" Yeah. She's like, "No, only children." He has to take a drink. I was like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, "What is he? Well, how is he going to react to that question? To that?" Because it's like, oh,
kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think he specifically says, "Do I look like I kill priests?"
Yeah.
And she says, "No, only children."
Only children.
And it's just there's this really clever bit of interplay.
Bruges is my hometown. It's a shithole. It's like a shithole. Yeah,
it's not a shithole.
Yeah. So
I just googled her name. It's Clemens Pussy.
Come again, Nia? What?
Wait, say her name.
The actress. Her name is Pussy.
Oh, I think it's pronounced Posey, but it's still funny. But
I'm gonna go with Pussy. Yeah, and I'm just gonna. That's gonna be her name throughout the rest of the show. Is Miss Pussy. Sorry.
This has become a James Bond movie.
Oh, Nia,
really?
Nia just gave us
Clemens Pussy.
Yeah. Oh, this is what is this where she says, "Tell me a joke about Belgium" or something?
Yeah, and he's like, he says, "I don't know any jokes about it," but then he says, "Oh yeah, this is where you said all those children get abused," and he tells a joke about it, and she says one of her friends was killed by those people.
What's Belgium famous for, right? And it's like chocolates and child abuse, but the chocolates came after the child.
They made the chocolates to get the children.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
so fucking funny.
I was like, Vex is gonna be telling that one.
Oh yeah,
there we go. But yeah, this is where she's like, she tries to make him feel bad about, that was one of my friends that died, and of course she's lying.
Yeah.
He's like, oh god. And then this part here with this fucking guy.
This guy's what a prick.
And he's like, it's unbelievable. And he looks at him, he goes, what's fucking unbelievable? Yeah, and he's like, I'm talking to you, the guy just has to give it. And he's like, it's the smoke. Isn't that what the Vietnamese used to say?
Yeah, he's mad because he's like, she's blowing her smoking. He's like, this is the smoking section. He's like, so what? And everything. I'm like, dude, it is the smoking section. You're lucky it's not. Smoking sections can be way worse than that.
Yeah, like, what do you expect?
I love the isn't that what the Vietnamese say? He's like, the what?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Like,
you keep saying it doesn't mean, and he just fucking clubs him in the face. I was like, oh, thank you, God. That was for John Lennon.
I won't lie. When my brother and I hang out, the Vietnamese will come up at some point in conversation randomly. It's just one of those lines that crack us up.
Well, the best part is this where he says that was for John Lennon because he thinks he's American?
Yeah, he calls him.
Yeah.
And then the wife tries to hit him with the wine bottle. He just punches her.
Fucking bottle.
Yeah,
Bottle.
we're leaving.
We're leaving.
I'd never hit a woman, but she tried to hit me with the bottle, or if she knew karate. So
it's a good point, though. I mean,
yeah, self-defense is self-defense.
Yeah.
Sorry. So she goes to make a call here. Did anybody think that was like did they start to think of who the hell is she calling? Like, is she like, it was weird how she's like, I gotta go make a phone call. And he thinks
she does. And it turns out it's actually it's it's something they're setting up for a second, a couple minutes from now. It's like, oh, she's actually calling her boyfriend, calling off, hey, we're not going to steal from this guy. She actually likes him.
Yeah. And then this is where Ken gets the call. Dude, this fucking scene here where he just, first of all, I was getting annoyed at first. I was like, stop asking him so much. But I was like, this is so so clever. And how this guy just wants to know every day. So what did he say about this? What's he doing? A pee or a poo? It's like,
also, it doesn't sound like Ralph Fiennes at
all.
No,
on this,
like this is a really funny accent he's putting.
Yeah, it's so funny. So he's asking about where Colin Farrell is, and he's playing it off like he's in the bathroom, and so send him out on it. So this whole thing plays out, and he plays it so well, Ken. He just plays it so well. He goes, go look, go see. He's like, oh, he wants to go see if there's a bowling alley here. He's like, it's
like at first, it's like you can tell he's like, why didn't I just tell him that he was out? That I could avoid all this.
Right.
He's really, you can tell he's like annoyed with himself. It's like, I should have just told him he was out.
Yeah. Oh God.
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah. Yep. He puts the phone down to pretend he's opening the door again.
Over there.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And he sells to the whole bit.
He does.
The phone call, which is fantastic, and it's just this weird take where he obviously like regrets him lying, right? But
yeah.
And it also shows that he's scared of Harry, though.
Oh yeah.
That he's going through all these steps to like.
I like this bit because it's like, even though it's like you could argue that maybe it's a bit much. They don't necessarily need all this, and I'm like, well, he did. You can understand why he might lie about him not, him being there. That he's like, okay, well, I gotta act like he's not there. Then going through this whole motion and everything, it's like, it does make sense that they would do that. I think it's a good bit of writing.
Yeah.
It shows that he cares about Ray, because he's not doing it. I don't think he's doing it because he's scared of Harry. He's scared of what Harry might do to Ray, because previously they both weren't at the hotel, and the only reason he doesn't tell him that Ray has gone out is because he doesn't want Ray to be punished for that. So he says, no, he's here with me just as you are. So all of this is to protect Ray, in my mind.
Yep. I agree. And I love this part where he's like, I'm not sure if it was his cup. And he's like, what the fuck? What do you mean it's not his cup? He gets pissed, Harry. and then he plays it back. He's like, no, that's when he first got here. But, he told me this thing, about like, he thinks it's a dream. He plays it off really well to calm Harry down. Because that's the way he feels about the town, right? That he loves it. And he's just telling him really how he really feels to not get Harry to fucking beat the shit out of Ray. But it's well done. And again, you're sitting like, so from when I was reading reviews about this movie, there was, I forgot what other scene, but this scene, people were like, dragged on a little too long, like this and that. But I'm like, I guess maybe, like, I don't know how much.
I think it's important. It's a logical conversation. I don't mind it at all, and it's fun. It's funny. I enjoy the heck out of it.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
The payoff comes later too, when you finally 100%. See like Ralph Fiennes show up like on the screen too, and just what ends up happening to the characters at the end of the line. I don't think this scene drags on long at all. I wouldn't change a thing.
Maybe at the first, like when it's going on, I could see him going, "Oh, this is going on too long." But it really sets it up, like you said. Like 100%. They're walking on eggshells around Henry because he's a fucking loose cannon.
Yeah, yeah. And he's basically saying here is like, listen, I'm glad I can do something for him and show him this place, because he thinks it's like a gift to him, basically, before he dies, because they see it as a fairy tale. They wanted Ray to see it that way. And he's like, he's really not a bad kid, but what he did is just can't happen. And Yeah, he gives him this address to go get the gun from that guy with the fucking alcoves.
The Russian. I love the Russian.
Jesus. Yeah, nooks and crannies. Maybe that's better. We'll get to that. Yeah, and
he's the low rent version of like the guy who does the arms dealing in John Wick.
John Wick,
like,
yeah.
Version of that.
And you feel bad for Ken here because he doesn't want to do this. Like, this is raise his friend, but Harry reminds him, you brought him in, so the buck stops with you. Like, you're responsible. You have to do this,
Yeah.
because he fucked up. And yeah. And then again, what does he say? Yeah, like it was a dream. He just keeps repeating that. But yeah, I can't. Such good acting by Gleeson too, man. He's so good.
Well, it shows a lot about Harry also, that it's like this is nothing to do with like personal vendetta or dislike or anything. It's like, hey, he's a good kid, but you killed a kid. You've got to pay for that. It's that simple.
Yep. And then this is where he's with the girl at the place, and he's like, "You're fucking my girlfriend, asshole." And he's like, "What the?" This part was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my god! You think? Where are you from? Ireland? He's like, "You think you can come over to Belgium and fuck people's girlfriends?" Like, oh, God.
Like, no, I didn't. I just put my hand on it.
Oh yeah. And what point was it?
He tells him to get on his knees and open his mouth, and he's like, "When did skinheads start becoming poofs?"
So fucking good. And he's trying to and he grabs the gun because he's a hitman. He knows how to handle himself. And she's like, they're blanks. And dude, I don't know if everybody's ever shot blanks or been close range to even blanks. This
Blanks
is
loud.
This is pretty realistic. If you get up close to a blank, you're going to lose your eye.
Yeah.
That is real. I've been way too close to a blank by accident, and holy shit.
Now we know what happened.
Now you know why I'm slightly retarded. Oh, you mean with the eye? Oh, that was before that, Whitey. That's
I had never even thought about that before. Like, using a blank like that. And when he did, I was like, this is fucking just genius.
It's great. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And she's like, she basically was telling him why he's there. And she's like, but I called him when we were out and all this. And so this fucking guy comes and ruins everything. He's like, and he keeps bitching. I gotta get to the hospital.
He's like, stop whining like a big gay baby.
and then he keeps saying, like, I knew you weren't gonna like somebody like me. And she's like why? And he's like, nice. But she does. Obviously, there's a chemistry there. And he's just like, she's so confused because she kisses him and goes, just stay. I don't know how long I'm gonna be, but please stay. And he's like, okay. But then he remembers the shit about how, while he's going through her shit about how she said she was a drug dealer, basically. And he finds like what is he?
Acid, I think
5 pounds of cocaine, like, 5 grams of cocaine,
5 grams of coke, a bit of acid, a bit of I think LSD.
Yep.
Or something. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know my drugs too well,
MDMA. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this part was funny too, where he's like, yeah, another beer here. And the guy keeps looking at him. He's like, what the fuck is your problem? He's like, oh, 4 beers and 5. What did he say? Like 4 beers in
20 minutes? No problem.
He's like, He's like, fuck
like that.
Just give me the fucking beer.
Like, dude, you're making me money. I ain't got no problem.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's so fun. And then the midget comes in. How's the movie going? He says,
Jumped up Euro trash, piece of ripoff beer.
Yeah. She's not my girlfriend. She's a prostitute. So good.
And even here, he's still such a nice guy.
Yeah, even though he doesn't give a fuck. He's like,
he's just trying not to do something loud and crude. You know,
like, are you American? Oh, yeah, don't hold it against me.
I'll try not to say anything too loud or crass.
Yeah, crass. And I was like, really?
1 gay beer, please. Oh God, it's so funny, man. And then he's like, well, you have 5 grams of coke. He's like, well, when he said 6, right? And then he goes,
he's basically asking him like what kind of night he had, and he goes over the bad part. Then he goes, but I've also
stealing 5,
stole 5 grams of cocaine, one of which I've got in me now.
Yeah.
So pretty much balanced out.
Oh God, yeah. And he's like, give me some. He's like, well, you don't like it because it makes you depressed. Like, I don't give a fuck. Let's go. And this part here is
just pokes him in the head.
Yeah. Oh God, I was on horse tranquilizer. You from America? Yeah, don't hold it against me. Well, I'll be the judge of that. So funny, man. I could sell my pussy for more here than I could in Amsterdam.
It's like, from Amsterdam, it's like nothing but prostitutes in Amsterdam. I know. That's why I came to Bruges.
Oh God, I like this. Would you like some cocaine? And then they go to the.
Yeah, it's just like, you two are weird. Would you like some coke? And then Brendan Gleeson just kind of slides into frame. It's such a hilariously awkward.
So, okay, so this was the
That's
second
great.
part. This is the second part where I was just researching reviews. So this was the scene they said went on too long too, and I'm like, yeah, there's payoff.
Oh,
though.
what? This seems
I was like,
hilarious.
but this is funny. It's funny. And he's talking to him about midgets murdering themselves, and he's like, "What kind of fucking question is that?" It's like, God, man. Oh God.
Just some
He
hilarious
starts going
banter.
on about how there's going to be a race war.
Oh
between
God, man.
The whites and the blacks. And he goes, "What side would the Vietnamese be?"
The blacks
with the Vietnamese. And but this is also where we get some crucial information here, because this ends up being a segue into learning about Ken's character and how his wife was killed, and Harry's the one who got the guy.
Yep.
Which sets up basically why he's in debt to him and why he thinks so highly of him.
Yep. 100%.
For your integrity.
For
your honor.
I'm fighting with the blacks. Oh God. I swear to God. Yeah, and he's like, you know how much shit I had to take off of black midgets, man?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So funny, dude.
Yeah, this is where he goes into the dialogue about his wife, and he's like, "Oh, you got to listen to your conscience, basically." Like, you know, and the Colin Farrell's like, "What the fuck? Like, where's this conversation going? Too many hookers and races. Too many hookers and races. Oh, dude, when he fucking karate chops him.
Oh, it is so funny.
You don't know karate.
He just jumped
hell I do.
He drops to the floor. I was like, oh my God.
Vex short horse.
Vex is so right. They just don't hold back on anyone. And it's fun. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
There's no apologizing. It's just right at it.
Yeah, which is unfortunate we don't have that anymore.
No.
I know.
Yeah. So this is where he wakes up the next morning, and obviously he's depressed. So Ken already left, right? Because he went to go see the Russian guy for the gun. And Ray wakes up here, and he's just, well, you can see he's so bothered by what happened. Like, of course, anybody would be, right? But
yeah, for him, what's interesting is, you know, when kind of judging and kind of maybe analyzing his intent with Chloe, you know, it's like he very much thinks she's nice. He definitely likes her, but he's like, for the most part, he's kind of just like, I just want to get a shag in, and because he's very much, you can tell he's intending on killing himself, or at least is considering it heavily. And at this point, you know, he's about to go all the way with it. But she kind of becomes that thing that starts to pull him back to wanting to live again.
Oh, this fucking guy, Yuri. What's his name? Yuri.
Yeah.
Yuri. Yeah.
One of the default. If you don't know a Russian's name, just
I was going to say it's just Yuri.
Or like Igor or something like
Igor.
that.
Nikolai.
Are you gonna do it? And I like how he asked him, "Are you gonna?" Oh, this fucking alcoves. Oh my God.
Is this the word? Alcoves?
Alcoves? Yes. Sometimes you go nooks and crannies. Yes. Nooks and crannies.
Perhaps that should be more accurate. Nooks and crannies.
Oh my fucking God. And he asked him here, "Are you going to be able to do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course I am."
But also worth noting, this is where well, no, actually, I think it's when Harry comes there, he gives him the dum bullets.
Yep.
It's a rare bullet that's actually illegal in the US because of the damage it does.
Yep. Very true. Oh yeah, this is where she comes. The co-owner of the hotel's like, "Yeah, your friend gave me 200 pounds. Was it pound? Yeah, pounds, right? And asked me like, what kind of baby did I want, boy or girl?" And all, like, so basically, he just gives the rest of what his money has here. Just give it to the baby. And she's like, "No, I can't, you know, but I just wanted you to know he went to the park and was fucked up." And so it's like, so you're kind of wondering, is he going to kill himself? Or is he like, was he trying to run away and hide? Like, it's really weird.
I think at this point, it's pretty obvious.
That he's going to off himself. Yeah.
He's said things like he's not sure, because I know like when he was first having their little heart to heart about it, he was saying, you know, maybe I shouldn't be here, that kind of stuff. And he's like, don't talk like that. So now we've come to this point where he's ready to do it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's also worth noting in that scene where he's going through her stuff and getting her drugs, he also finds real bullets. So that's where he gets those bullets.
Yeah, so he puts the silencer on his gun, starts walking up to him, and you're like, what is going to happen? He's like, you still got 45 minutes left, so what the hell is going to, you know? And he puts the gun to his head, and it's like, oh, no. And he tells him, no, stop. It's like, shit.
You were going to shoot me.
Yeah, you're going to kill yourself.
What were you going to do? And he just goes, nothing.
Yeah. I'm allowed to. No, you're not. No, I'm not allowed to, and you are.
That's not fair.
And I wonder if that has to do with the religious side of it.
I think so.
Well, the interesting thing is Gleeson, towards the end of the movie, more and more becomes kind of Christ in his place. He's, he dies for him and stuff. There's even some dialogue allusions to that.
Yeah.
So I think this is kind of where that starts, because he sees that he's willing to, it's you go to the Bible verse where it says the wages of sin is death. He's saying he's willing to die for the sin he commits. So this makes him think he deserves the chance to, it's like, I want to give him a second chance. Maybe he doesn't deserve it, but it's like he had to be given a second chance.
Yeah.
And he's willing to put his own life on the line for him.
Yep. Because he even tells him, like, this is where he tells him here, like, go save the next boy instead of like dwelling on this. Go do something. He's like, well, what am I to become a doctor? You need papers. It's like, no, you're missing the point. Go do anything. Again, great
another
acting.
Line that does later pay off.
Yeah, Colin Farrell. Again, they're both just so good here.
It's like, I'm not gonna lie, for such a funny movie, it's like this part of the movie gets me. It hits. Like, I'm like, gosh, this is
assassins are people too, man.
Yeah, man. Don't you know? But yeah, he's even telling him you can't help anybody when you're dead. He's like, yeah, what am I gonna be, a doctor? You need papers. Like, you're missing the point.
You got to do exams.
Yeah, you're missing the point. Where are we at here? Oh yeah, this is where he's asking, like, why Bruges? And he's like, he wanted you to enjoy yourself or whatever. He's like, well, the Bahamas maybe. He's like, a fucking Bruges. And he admits, he's like, it's probably because it was cheaper. Let's be honest,
Yeah,
it's fucking funny, man. Then he's like, yeah, take the money, go take some money, go hide. And he's like giving him this whole dialogue here about like, hey, it might take 7 years for you to be able to come back, but that's not that long because basically he's young, and I'll deal with Harry. Just keep moving. Don't look back.
It's such a good thing he didn't give him his gun right here.
Oh yeah, yeah, smart. And I even love how he's like, what does he say? Like, tell Harry I'm going to off myself anyway. And he's like, you're not going to do that, are you?
Because he still hasn't, been given that reason to live yet.
Yep. And he just kind of shrugs.
Well, and the interesting thing is, kind of getting back into the symbology is that, what kind of, because like I said, his relationship with Chloe is really interesting, because he doesn't start to take it more seriously until she pays the price to get him out. So it's like, that's a little bit of symbolism there too.
Yep. I love how he calls Harry. He's like, you know what that is? Yeah, I know it's a train. Do you know what train? It's a train with Ray on it, and blah blah blah. He's like, you should. What does he say? Like, by the way, it's like a fucking fairy tale. Just to piss Harry off.
He brings with the fairy tale. He goes, yeah, right, dude. It looks like a fucking fairy tale.
Yeah, just to piss him off.
Yeah.
And then we finally get to see Fine.
This is the first thing I ever saw from this movie. I saw a video montage of best movie insults. This was on there. This is the very first thing I ever saw. I had no idea where it came from.
Dude.
And then I saw this scene. I just started cackling. I was like, oh, because this is such a hilarious thing to say.
You're a fucking inanimate object.
I'm sorry about the inanimate object thing.
I called you an inanimate
Stay with
object.
Mummy and Imamoto. I'm like, who the fuck is Imamoto? Oh, and then they show her. It's like the nanny or whatever, the Japanese nanny. It's like, oh god. Yeah, but he's basically like, I have to go to Bruges, and even the wife's like, where the fuck is Bruges?
It's in Belgium.
It's in Belgium. Yeah. Is it going to be dangerous? And he's like, yeah, this again, funny.
It's a matter of honor, of course.
Yeah, they're going to take the boys with you.
I have to say, this little suit up scene made me realize, oh, this is why they had him play Donald Trump in a movie, because he does look a lot like Trump.
Right?
I see it. Yeah.
Belgium, Bruges, it's the best ever. It's going to be America. It's not a
fairy tale place.
It's
got a nice tower. Someone say the best tower.
Alcoves will become nooks and crannies.
Medieval city. We're going to annex
little people.
They've got a big fucking canal. It's real big.
We're going to sell dum-dums in America.
You love the swans, the best swans.
Boy, they've got a fast train there.
There won't be gay beer. No, not in America.
The straightest beers.
It's very good.
We'll have our own fairy tale. Oh, God, it's so good. Yeah, he puts Ray's gun in the cupboard and he hides it. And I honestly didn't see this coming. I was kind of wondering, like, Colin Farrell still he's still got to be part of the movie. You're like a little over a half hour left. So how are they gonna? The fucking way they do this. And he's like, "Are you Irish?" And he's like, "Yeah." And what's your name? And he gives him some stupid fucking name. You hit the Canadian. He's like, "I hit the Canadian." Like he's mimicking him. Like
I hit the Canadian.
Like the Canadian. Oh god! And then he looks at the guy. He's like, "That's the mother." I was like, "Oh my god, this guy!" Like they happen to be on the. Oh,
yeah,
that was my moment. That was like, oh, good.
I was going to say, this is probably my biggest issue with this film is, as much as I love it, there are so many contrivances that need to occur for the story to progress. Yeah. And it's one thing for them to be looking for his passport and to find him on the train, but it's another thing for the Canadians to also be on the train. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like,
logic
is sacrificed for a gag.
Yeah.
But if this hadn't happened, it would have been a happy ending because he would have forgiven Ken and everything would have been just moving, forward, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
he's right. That's contriving a way to make sure
it is. It definitely is. But it's like contriving me not to have a happy ending. So I think that's how it kind of weighs out.
I think if they had just waited to do the Canadian bit until when he was in prison, they could have done a scene like the police could have grabbed him here and been like, "Hey, I don't know."
Yeah. Well, to me, it's like what you. I mean, like.
But
it's really all in just how you execute it. I think they could have still done the scene largely the same if they had maybe added a little bit more. Like he spots him in some way, shape, or form, and he's like, "Oh, hey, I see, that's the guy who hit me."
He sees him walking to the train station, maybe, and he like kind of, I get what you're saying.
I do think that's a fair criticism.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. This fucking guy with his one eye. Hey, it looks familiar. I had a patch on my eye for a while, dude. This shit here when he's like an Uzi. What do I look like? I'm going to kill a bunch of black kids in South Central. It's like, oh my! I can't believe.
Oh, we forgot the line where he says, like, it used to be skinheads used to kill like Pakistani 12-year-olds.
Yeah. I love that they don't hold back. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, this is.
Yeah, and he's telling him, like he tells the alcove thing. He's telling him how he got blinded in one eye. And he's like, "It sounds like it was your fault."
Yeah, he's blaming him. He's like, "Yeah, you try to rob somebody and you have blanks. That's kind of on you." It's like, oh god.
I mean, like to me, it's like okay, like I do think most of the script, like there is an ethereal quality to the storytelling, to where like I think you're supposed to glean from the internal logic that there is a bit of the hand of God on this, making a lot of this happen. I still think the train thing is a contrivance. I think it pushes that a little too hard. Mm-hmm. Like I don't necessarily mind when movies, kind of allude to the puppet, the puppeteer kind of thing where they're making sure things happen. But when you show your hand too much, that's an issue. And I do think the train thing was a little
much. Yeah.
To your point, Gord, I think the only justification for a lot of the contrivances that we see is that it is an act of God or the hand of God sort of maneuvering things to fall into place. But another contrivance would have to be the guy that was blinded being there, meeting Harry in order to facilitate him telling Harry that Ray's downstairs. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah.
Him. Well, you mean when he ends up in the square at that time?
Yeah, and that scene only works because he meets him here. It's like, what's he doing with the Russian guy?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see.
Well, him being with the Russian guy, I think is fine because he's lost his gun, so him going there maybe to get another gun or something like that would make some sense. He's the arms dealer in the
for sure, but being there at the same time that Harry's there as well, like at that exact moment, I'm happy to accept it being the hand of God. Like that's a pretty good justification.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and then he sees Ken sitting in the square here, and he's like, just he's trying to justify why he let him go, and even that he caught him in the park and he was about to kill himself, and he's like, this is getting fucking worse. He's like, he would have did you both a favor, and kind of play. I love when he calls his kids cunts.
Yeah, this whole exchange was just fantastic.
He's like, you called my kids. Like, retract that shit.
Retract.
Yeah, you're right. Fine, I retract it.
He's like, but you are still a fucking cunt.
By the way, one of my favorite lines in this exchange, because it sounds so natural and offhand, but ends up ringing completely true, is because Ken tells him, he's suicidal. He goes, he's suicidal. I'm suicidal. You're suicidal. And I'm like, it literally turns out that that's how those two off themselves is suicide. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool how you pull that off sometimes.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
Insulting
it
my
feels like a
fucking
very
kids.
natural line, but it's
No, you're right.
absolutely correct.
Yeah. It's very good. Fiennes is such a good actor too, man.
He is really.
Wow. Everybody.
It's actually one of my favorite roles of his. It kind of annoys me that because it's such a mainstream role, people point to something like his role as Voldemort as one of his best, when honestly that's not a very good portrayal of Voldemort. It's kind of hammy.
Yeah.
He's done so many better roles.
Yeah.
than that.
He's great as Richard Dolarhyde in Red Dragon as well.
Oh yeah. He's just a good actor. I love this when they're walking by the policeman. He's like, "I got all your acid." And next, she's like, "English humor." It's English humor. Yeah. So this is where they decide basically. Oh, the fucking alcoves. That part was funny. The alcoves.
Like, to me, if you wanted to make it a little bit more natural that the boyfriend's in the area, you could have had it to where she called him so they could make amends, and maybe the two guys just didn't know that, because obviously it doesn't look like Colin Farrell's character knows it, and it's like you could maybe had it to where she was calling him, say, "Hey, why don't you come here?" And he thinks he's just going there to meet her, and he's like, "Wait a minute, I'm meeting him too." And then he goes to Harry. It's like you could have done it that way and made it feel more natural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair enough. I like, well, yeah, Ken's like, basically, let's go up to that tower up there. You can't see or hear anything. It's foggy. So let's just go up there and get it over with. And
can't hear gunshots at the top of the tower. That's fact.
Yeah. Facts. Canadians. Oh, God. So funny. Yeah, so they do their little kissy. Oh, this fucking guy. Nobody go, and I love he's pointing his, and you can see
tapping him on the head.
Yeah, finds his
face.
The
Englishman.
And I love,
dude, you're asking for it.
When you see Ken walking away, you know this guy's dead.
Ken knows what's about to happen.
Yeah, it's so fucking funny, dude.
Oh, and the fact that it's closed because you find out that the fat guy had a heart
attack going up somebody had a heart attack going up the stairs. They warned him.
Like, oh, I know who they're talking about.
Yeah, this is your scene.
This is basically Belgian Jesse Pinkman.
Homeboy walking through the square.
Really?
Oh, is this where they see the midget? Oh, he's wearing like the schoolboy outfit.
He comes back.
This is funny. Oh,
I have a karate chopping you.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I didn't mean taking the piss out of you being a fairy tale. Yeah, he's telling him like he loves this place, and I like this line here. He's like, "It's a shame it's in Belgium, but if it wasn't in Belgium, nobody would appreciate it." Because it's like it's true. If it was in a big city that had a million other attractions, yep. And he puts the gun down, and he's expecting like a fight, and he's just like, "Listen, I don't care anymore. Just shoot me. I know I did the right thing."
And this is where, like, from here to the time where he dies, this is where he kind of fully comes into the Christ role. Is similar to when Jesus was on trial, he did not defend himself. Here it's like he's like, I'm not going to defend myself. I'm totally in your debt. So he's accepting his fate totally, and then he's like, I can't kill you after all that. And a funny piece of dialogue that further alludes to that is he says, "Well, you didn't think I wasn't going to shoot you, even though you're standing there like Robert Powell from who was Jesus of Nazareth."
Nazareth. Yeah. He's like, "Who? Robert Powell, Jesus of Nazareth."
Yeah.
And he gets in this dialogue here where he makes it almost impossible for Fiennes to shoot him. And he doesn't want to kill him after. He's like, I respect you. I looked up all this shit, and he's like, "Well, I can't shoot you now." But he shoots him in the leg. That was pretty. He's like, "You think I was going to do nothing, right?" Yeah. It's like, then the Robert Powell thing comes in.
The funny thing is, if he would have had like a major artery in his leg and he would have been bled out
anyway.
It's like, well, shit, he died. So
yeah.
Then what?
Then what do you do?
Yeah.
Oh God. And then he's like, the blacks and the whites are gonna go to. He's like, that's the cocaine, man. It was the cocaine. That was the cocaine, man.
Cocaine talk.
Oh God. In another life. He's like, they're wonderful, aren't they? Yeah. This is the scene Niat was talking about here. He just happens to walk upon them. Look at Colin Farrell's face. He's like, oh shit. I gotta take out his other eye now. It's pretty
funny. I'm surprised, like, he doesn't put two and two together at what that might mean.
Right.
Like especially when he sees him run off, like he should have instinctively like got up from the chair, chased him down,
or find out what's going on. Yeah, like why is
right? Because even if he like sees where he is, he could have easily dispatched what was his name, Elric or whatever his name,
yeah,
and then run up to go help Ken right here, and like kind of just come up behind Harry, maybe like
well, he would have had to have
him.
known that he ran into Harry, which it's unlikely. So
right, because he had no idea what went on.
Yeah,
but I like he tells him that guy Harry, look at or Ray, he's downstairs, and I like how they try to fight each other off, and he finally does shoot him in the neck, and he's like, sorry man, like kill a kid, you can't live through that. And oof, poor Ken.
Yeah, he didn't deserve it.
Yeah, no, he didn't. And you can see like Fiennes feels bad because again they have a connection, they have a history. Feels bad, but he's like, you can't prevent me from doing this. It's got to happen.
Yeah, it's their principles, right?
Yeah,
and I think the thing that's so interesting too about this whole movie is like this movie touches a lot on the moralities in such an immoral world where they're hitmen, right? Time. But they had these weird principles. Yep. You know, can't kill children.
Well, it's like the mafia. Like growing, I grew up in that life. Like I was in it, but I grew up around those people.
Yeah,
very family oriented. They had their rules, but they still run around and killed everybody and rob from everybody.
You don't mess with the elderly. You must
nothing with families,
and nothing the kids. Yeah, it's just like. And that's where it kind of sucks if you're a guy. So it's like you can get whacked at any point in time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You never know.
What do you think their principles are if a kid comes at them with a bottle?
Oh, you gotta hit him.
Punch right in the neck.
Yeah, fuck the kid.
Yeah.
Karate chop.
Right?
Man, you got a karate chop his ass.
Go fight with the black midgets.
That baby had a bottle.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you give him like a really bad like Charlie horse in like the neck, you know, like your trap, just like hit him like right like that. I mean, you know, the kid's gonna fall down. Like, and then you just yank the bottle away from him or whatever it is, and then just piss off.
Yeah. So
what if it's a Vietnamese chop?
Oh well, then fuck.
Well.
Are they really human anyway?
No,
I'm just kidding.
He could have a shoebox. He could have a shoebox. We don't know.
Oh god, that's so funny. Yeah, I like how he gets back to the top of the. That's gotta fucking hurt with a bullet in your leg. But he gets back to the top of the tower and he drops the coins to see the distance.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he dropped it, and it's funny because Colin Farrell's
dropping the coins to get attention and to get people out of the way. Which
and
I like that. I like that there was. There's a payoff to the coins that actually makes a good bit of sense. But holy crap, this fall is brutal.
Oh, dude. And I like how they don't show his body all like you see like the mangled pieces of his body. They show enough
to where you know.
And the horrible part here is when he gets close and realizes who it is, you're like, oh no. And he just like, no, Ken, what do you do? He's like, where's my gun? He tries to give him his gun. And it's fucking all destroyed. He's like, where's my but the fucking acting here is like.
Which, if you remember, he put the gun back in the hotel.
Yes. And he's like, I'm gonna die now. He's like, I'm just gonna die, you know. But he tells him Harry, you know, Harry's here, so beware. And he's like, oh shit. Oh, thank you, big ship. You beautiful
5
man.
memberships.
Thank you.
Nice.
Sweet man. God, you know what? I'm gonna give you this one.
The suck zone. It's the point. Basically, at which the twister sucks you up. The suck zone.
What a great movie.
Oh, it's so good. Thank you for that, Whitey. It's always one of my favorites. Thank you, Big Ship. I appreciate you, buddy. What was I going to say? Yeah, so he dies here, and then he can't even grieve, right? He's just got to run because fucking Harry's right on his ass.
By the way, another little bit of clever dialogue. It's because this is very much playing it two ways. Because when he sees him there, he says says Ken, comma Jesus. You know, it's like which in the literal sense he's it's a religious exclamation, but I think the script is kind of re-identifying him there.
Yeah,
that's what he just did for him.
Mm-hmm.
Harry's a shitty shot, by the way. I know you're on the run,
and why is he not zigzagging?
But but you're like, come on, if you're a really good shot,
he's a bad shot.
Yeah, you could fucking nail him.
And he's a good shot whenever he's a good shot
at that point. Yeah. But anyway, so he gets back to the hotel. I like how Harry's like, oh fuck, I gotta keep running. He's all exhausted. He has to.
He whips out the map.
Yeah, because he doesn't know where he is. Yeah. But I like how, like Ray gets into the whole
that they included that because
not
like every bad guy knows exactly where everything.
Well, he hasn't been there since he was 7 too, right?
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah, Halloween,
magical city.
Yeah, Halloween. When Michael Myers gets out, he can drive hundreds of
Oh.
miles away to his hometown.
God,
He didn't have a TomTom.
Overrated crap freaking movie.
Yeah,
He
I like how
Google Maps.
I like how he gets in the hotel chick gets in the way, and she's like, "I'm not going anywhere." And he's like, "I'm not going to kill you because you're so." He's like, "This is where the shootout happens, though," and she's like, "You guys are all fucked, man." But yeah, I'm not moving. This is my place, and she's like, "Okay." So Ray comes up with the plan. Like, I'm going to jump out the window, go across the canal. I'm going to try to escape, and you just go out the front. He's like, "Is that the left or the right?" He's like, "It's a big fucking canal. It's right. It's right outside." Pretty goddamn funny.
Yeah, that was good.
Again, this little witty dialogue, man. It's just good. It's just really
right.
good.
And they whip it out. Like we had a serious moment.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden,
Amazing.
bam.
Yep.
A quick,
and it's
funny
natural
little exchange,
and it feels natural.
Yeah, because other than him trying to kill him, conversationally, these are people who more or less are fine with one another. It's just like, hey, I have to do this to you because you killed a kid
for a principle.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he jumps on the boat and he's like, "Oh, it's too far." I was like, "Dude, you're not that far away." Like, I don't understand. Like,
it's not an easy shot.
It's not an easy shot.
That's not an that's a tough shot, but it's like I'm not gonna just stand there. That's for sure.
If there's not a lot of wind and there's like nothing to obstruct, like you can't make that shot. So I was surprised, like, because I'm sitting there going, Colin Farrell's like, "Oh, you're too far." I was like, "That's not, he can make."
I think
that
he's.
shot.
I mean, he's hoping. My thinking there is he's thinking you're not gonna try the shot. You're gonna run. And he's just He
should have like tried to roll off the boat or something.
Yeah, like it's the way he nails him. That's a nice shot, man, right in the freaking between the stomach and the chest.
Which
man.
You know what the clever thing would have been? Saying this, acting like he does, open the window, but then he follows Harry out the same way, so he's behind him and basically kind of gets the jump on him and then shoots him in the back. Like,
yeah.
He doesn't have a gun. He doesn't have a gun at this point.
He lost the gun jumping on the boat, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this whole thing about him having to go back to the hotel to get his gun just to drop it in the water. It's like too little, too late, of course. But to think like
I know what he's saying.
Yeah, it's like to think, well, what if I don't make the jump and I lose the gun? Then I'm really screwed.
Wait, I'm trying to recall. Did he retrieve his gun at the hotel?
He did, and then
he did.
I couldn't recall if he did or not because it doesn't really.
As soon as he hits the boat, it like falls into the water, which is like, oh,
right. And I love how
yeah. And I was like, it's like kind of nitpicking where it's like, hey, when he tells the boat driver to keep driving, like, couldn't he have hidden somewhere like in the boat, like up front,
laid flat, like do
exactly, just
anything else?
Like,
yeah.
That was a chill boat driver.
He was.
Yeah,
he was
really. That was
all right.
I think he looked better once. Like, okay, well, this happened.
Yeah. I like how they go on.
Only in Bruges.
The best drivers.
The best. We're gonna bring them to America, make them even better.
He's the ferryman. He's carrying him to the
Oh, dude, he blasts fucking Farrell here like a bunch of times, and then I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna.
It's I think 4 wounds.
4, yeah. And when you
I don't know if that's it might be stretching it a bit to say that's an allusion to the 4 wounds that Christ suffered, the 2 hands, the feet, and the one on his side. It could very much be just reading too far into it, but it does the 4 wounds.
Yeah.
I definitely think that's a good
yeah. And he keeps saying the little boy, and then so Harry's thinking that's because of he's like, yeah, that's right. This is because of the little boy. That's why. Mm-hmm. But little does he know. Same thing, right? Happened to the midget, the dwarf. Sorry, they like to be called dwarves. I'm sorry.
Glasses head apart, which I mean that's what dum-dums do. Dum-dums are pretty rough.
And then he even tries to say Harry, no, he's trying to tell him like, no, he's not a kid. Like he's not, but he can't talk because he's got fucking 18 bullets in his chest. So Harry's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
By the way, he even said if it had been me who killed a kid, I would have put a gun in my mouth on the spot.
On the spot. Yep. And he does, and he pulls the trigger, and boom.
Man of his word.
Oh man. What a freaking wild 15 minutes, dude. Like it just goes balls out.
Yeah.
And I love how he's saying here, like, so he repeats the whole thing about if he could go back and tell the mother from that kid in London what happened, he would accept the punishment, right? Prison or death or whatever, just to kind of get it off his conscience. And I love how he's like, yeah, Bruges was like, this is purgatory for me or some shit, right? He's like, this is what my hell would be. But in the end, though, he's like, even if that was so, I hope I live. Like, I don't want to die. It's just
I mean, they leave a good bit of because there's the two ways to read this, where you could read it as, you're not sure whether he lives or dies after this.
Right.
And also, but if you want to read it as he does die, it's like, okay, if this is purgatory, did he, because he did more or less save the child, the next one, because he made sure the shootout didn't happen in the end with the pregnant woman. Mm-hmm. So it's like, was that enough to, earn him heaven in the Catholic sense?
It's crazy. And it is true, that whole saying, like, even when you're at your lowest and unhappy, because he was going to kill himself at one point, right? But when you get to that when you get to the end, you're like, yeah, I don't want to die. Like, you want to fight to live. That's why you see so many people fight to live at the end. They're afraid of the unknown and what's going to happen. And like you said, Gordon, they're not sure where they're going to go, right? So, very poignant ending. And that was it. That was In Bruges. Very clever movie. Well done. And I did like the way it ended. So, Vexington, my love, do we have trivia?
Yes, I do.
Please.
All right. So this movie grossed oh my god, I forgot the budget. Hold on.
The budget was $15 million.
Okay, thank you, Gord. All right. Budget of $15 million. It grossed just under 33.4 million worldwide. 3/4 of that, which were internationally. It only made 7.8 million in North America. So I don't have the worldwide release statistics, but
45
total.
45 million total.
Oh, on re-releases. I'm just going off the
original. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good, bro. You're good. I know you a fanboy. It's all good.
That made me laugh.
So in the U.S., this came out on February 8, 2008. It debuted at number 25 in the U.S. with a per theater average of $16,413. It only came out in 232 theaters domestically, so that probably didn't help.
Probably why I didn't hear of it for so long.
There you go. And it came out the same day as Fool's Gold and Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins.
Roscoe Jenkins.
Give me a break.
This film was nominated for Best Original Screenplay, but guess what it lost to?
Let's see, it was 2008.
Am I going to be mad?
2009. Academy Awards.
Right, but that's for 2008 films.
Yes.
I don't know.
Milk.
Oh God.
Oh, what? Faggots.
You're kidding, really?
They gave the Oscar to a bunch of gay beer.
Pretty much, yeah. All right, into the actual trivia now. Okay, in the original script, Ray and Ken are British, but when Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson came on board, the characters were changed to Irish to suit their natural sensibilities.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. I'm glad they did that.
I like that, yeah.
It was the first time the two actors had worked together on a project, and Farrell remembers how he knew that Gleeson was a real man. Quote, the first time I was in a room at the Chelsea Hotel. I had recently put the jar down. I was sober about a year and a half or something like that. I'd known this man would like a pint every now and then and had a reputation. And the reputation now was that I was recently sober, and he knew that. Anyway, he said, will you have a drink? And he went to the minibar and pulled out 2 bottles of water and went, I have still or sparkling. In that moment, the simplicity of the gesture told me, there is a man that will look after you. There's a man that will take care of you. And there's a man that considers people, end quote.
Nice.
Wow.
What a gentleman.
Yeah, very nice.
The writer and director once said that it all came about when he visited the city for a 2-day weekend. Quote, when I got there, I was stunned by how beautiful it was. I went to every museum and church on the first day, and by the middle of the second day, I was bored out of my head because I'd been to every church 4 times. I just wanted to get drunk, get laid, and get out of there. I guess those 2 parts of my brain started talking, the culture lover and the drunken whore. And I thought, Why would two people like that be in Bruges when they didn't have to be? And that's where the idea of the hitmen came from, and it kind of wrote itself after that, end quote.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Wow.
In order to create the feeling of the holiday season, Christmas decorations were kept in some streets of Bruges until the end of March. The town council made an official communication to the people of Bruges explaining the reason why.
Huh.
All right. Except for the flashback, Ray wears a single outfit throughout the whole movie. When he does remove his jacket and unbutton his shirt, he has no other change of clothes. Ken, on the other hand, has several notable wardrobe changes.
Holy shit! Yeah, that doesn't make sense now.
Kind of miring in his own filth.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when he asks Ken, like, "Hey, how do I look?" And Ken's just like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
What does it mean? And he says,
"What does it matter?"
Harry's strict moral code gets a further insight in a deleted scene where a young version of him is played by Matt Smith, who's one of the doctors. In it, Harry discovers his partner holding a dead woman in a club, so he marches into a police station and beheads the man who did it, a dirty detective. Ultimately, the film makers decided to cut the scene as the CGI decapitation looked too fake.
Wow.
Good.
Kind of glad that didn't make it.
Yeah,
I think there's enough in the movie to show what his code was. It's been a bit extra.
The word fuck and its derivatives are said 126 times in this 107-minute film, an average of 1.18 fucks per minute.
Nice.
Ken and Ray check into their hotel under the names Cranham and Blakely, presumably after actors Kenneth Cranham and Colin Blakely, who played two hitmen in the television adaptation of Harold Pinter's The Dumb Waiter, one of this film's major influences.
Wow, it doesn't allude to the fact that it was written by someone named Harold and their boss is Harry.
That could also be another one. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I would think that's probably the reason. Yeah.
Yep.
According to Brendan Gleeson, this took 12 weeks to shoot.
Wow.
That's not bad.
No, that's pretty good.
Yeah, 3 months for this makes sense. It's
yeah. It took 2 hours for. Is it Kieran or Syrian Hines?
It's one of them.
Yeah, we'll go with both.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with Kieran Hines.
It's Caesarean Hines.
Caesarean Hines. Okay. It took 2 hours for Caesarean Hines to film his scenes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like he's such a good actor. He just showed up for 2 hours, got a paycheck, and was like, "All right, I'm good. Dead priest, done."
This screenplay was featured on the 2006 Blacklist of most liked unmade scripts of the year.
Wow. I think there's going to be a war between the blacklists and the whitelists.
What about the Pakistanis?
The Vietnamese tiebreaker.
I don't know. Bollywood. I'm going to need Bollywood.
When talking to Harry over the phone, Ken mentions that Ray is initially put off by a recently built dual carriageway. A scene in the beginning of the film would have showed Ray refusing to get into a carriage to get from the station to Central Town, but it was deleted from the final version of the film.
Interesting.
Okay. Right. And I do have just one piece of trivia just for you, Cannoli.
Oh, please. Yes.
Caesarean Hines was originally supposed to be Christopher Walken.
Oh, yes!
I'm lying.
Wow.
I'm lying.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
The little boy.
Wow. Why are you murdering people for money?
Why did you shoot me?
I mean, hey, he did. I'm not too surprised by that. He did cast him later for Seven Psychopaths.
I'm lying. I'm lying. I just wanted to play with your feelings.
Motherfucker.
Oh,
wow. Wow, Chloe.
I am going to edit these midgets doing something totally different.
Colin Farrell really didn't have a sex tape. God damn it. All right, that was pretty fun. It was a good one, Max. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's all the trivia I have, though, for today.
Awesome. Thank you, as usual. So I guess we'll go around here, give our final thoughts and a score of rating, however you want to rate it. I don't care. Matt, give us your final thoughts on In Bruges and a rating you want to give the movie.
Sure. Even after discussing it, there are some weak points where the story is loosey goosey, but overall, I still think this is the most excellent movie. I'd probably give it somewhere in the 90% range. Yeah,
wow,
it's just so fucking funny.
Yeah,
and most of the loosey goosey story I'm okay with, and the one or two things I'm not. That's the reason I take points off. But every other aspect of this movie was, for me, great. Now I want to rewatch it soon.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's definitely a good, well-made movie. Nick, what about you, buddy? Final thoughts and a rating?
Yeah, I do think this movie has quite a few strengths in terms of the acting. The visuals, of course, are very well done on location.
Right.
Talking about the different themes throughout the entire movie, I think are well done, and things that everyone has pointed out here tonight. I did like the tone that this movie sets for our main characters here. Like trying to explore things of like guilt, morality, of course, and trying to find this Christ-like redemption for Ken, and then having this ambiguity as to whether or not Ray lives or dies here, as he's he's like this nihilist, right, throughout the movie, but he does have this idea of whether he is stuck in purgatory because he hates Bruges. But I always kind of think that he does shift out of this mindset after this like kind of life-changing moment, literally.
Right.
Because obviously it's like, how many people are going to live through 4 gunshot wounds to the midsection? I mean it like chances are very, very, very slim. But there again, it's like if he's given a second chance, then it's almost like a sign from God being like, hey, like your task here isn't done yet. So like what you're thinking here in your final moments of life can be utilized for good. So do something with this second chance that not a lot of people would ever get.
Right.
But again, I think for the my critiques are, like I said before, it does have some pacing issues. But and some of the things do feel a little plot convenience, of course. And I get that, but again, the dialogue and just the deliveries and the timings are fantastic. I'd probably give this all in all 8.5 black dwarfs. The half being the Vietnamese dwarf, though.
Nice representation, baby.
Yeah,
I love it. I like it. Oh shit, that's hilarious. Niat, my man, how about you, buddy?
Yeah, I think from a character perspective, we do get a unique look into the lives of 3 career criminals, and the different shades between them, the morality that sort of each of them carries and determines the choices that they make. I thought was really interesting. The writing is phenomenal. Like I have to admit that if you want to learn how to do setup and payoff, this is the movie to look at, because nothing is wasted. Everything serves a purpose, which I appreciate. But my biggest complaint would probably have to be the contrivances in the film, without which many of the payoffs cannot occur, right? With that said, I do really like this film. I just wish that some of the contrivances had been removed. Like thematically, it's brilliant, looking at like Christianity and the path towards redemption. So I can overlook the contrivances, but I'd probably give it 6. No, 6 is too low of a score. 7 out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. My white bear.
Jacob Ironside said I was in the movie. I don't see the resemblance at all. Yeah.
Oh my god,
terrible. But so I think there are some conveniences, but for me this is like a miniature story. No pun intended, I guess. But it's such a good little story that doesn't have some some big epic tale behind it, not some weird giant society of assassins and all that. It's just all it is just one little story. What's happening in Bruges right now, and I don't know. I was really surprised. I hate that I didn't get to see this for so long.
Yeah.
I would have preferred a different ending, but I think that's just, the payoff that will kind of stick with me for a long time. Probably would watch it a lot more if the ending was slightly different, but I just, like different kind of endings, I guess. But either way, so really surprised by it, and I'm going to give it 7 big fat fucking retarded black girls out of 10.
Jesus. Gorkang.
Yeah.
Tell us, buddy.
Obviously, I adore this movie. I think it's borderline a masterpiece. I credit to Nate. I think you pointed out some very fair criticisms, and it did in fact adjust my score somewhat. I don't have as big an issue with it, and I definitely think the strengths of the script certainly make up for some of the issues it does have. I think it's impeccably acted. It's really, really funny. It's a great story. Aside from just the excellence of the setup and payoff, it's pretty masterful in how it weaves its themes into the script and into the imagery, into the way characters behave. I love all of that. So I will give this 9 grams of cocaine / 0.5 gay beers out of 10. 9.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Oh God. And of course, Vex. What about you?
I echo a lot of the sentiments that you guys have shared here. Yeah, I think the pacing is a little bit slow. I think that's a preference thing and not necessarily a writing thing, because it's just so tight, pun intended, in other ways. Like all the thematic explorations are really great. Like Nick and Niet, you both touched on those, so I won't reiterate. I like.
Well, they had their hand on it.
I like how witty the dialogue gets and how it doesn't hold any punches. I like that there's layers to both of our characters as well. Some that you just don't even realize are in there. And I do this is a very masterfully crafted film. Very masterfully crafted. So I'm gonna give this. I need a metric. You guys have used all the metrics.
I know. I used yours.
Fuck.
I did too, but I only did it for you, Vex. That's why.
It's okay. I don't know.
What fat elephantaurus? I don't.
Sure. Okay. Let's go with 9. Don't hold it against me if I'm American. There you go. It's a solid film. I think everyone should watch it at one point regardless. But yeah, it just personally it's got some pacing issues for me that I can't overlook.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think you pretty much all nailed it on the head, so I'm not going to repeat. I'm just going to go ahead and give this movie an 8.5 cunty kids. Listen, Neon, they did have some legitimate gripes with this, and I do agree with some of that, but overall, like Vex is right too. Just watch it one time, if anything, just to see how. Just see what a well-written movie's like. Like I said, these are so far and few between now that. And you watch these movies from 2008. What was the last movie we watched? Oh, even Boondock Saints. We didn't do that movie because I was dying. But even that, I just miss this kind of writing. Yeah, we're just in a weird timeline. There is good stuff out there. It's just you got to search for it, or you have to wait till other people recommend things to you now. Where it used to just be like, oh, I want to see this. I'm interested in it. It's good. But that's the way it goes. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. That was In Bruges. Definitely check it out. And we have a super chat. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Hyperbolic Ninja. I know it's gross to plug my own channel, but if I don't try to grab an audience, as my wife will gay beer me. Great stream, and I'm going to live on DS. No problem, buddy. Yeah, go check out Hyperbolic Ninja's channel. Yeah, we'll see if somebody can grab a link for him, maybe, and put it in the chat so people could subscribe.
Yeah, I'll grab that.
Thank you, buddy. And thank you for the super chat. I'm going to give you this one because this is also one of my favorite Whitey new clips.
Chorizo.
It'll be with you forever.
Thank you. You'll never get it out of your head ever. All right, I guess we can go around the block, the corner. What the fuck am I saying? We're gonna go around the panel and talk and shout out everybody.
The blacks.
They're gonna go. Yeah,
go around the blacks.
We're gonna go around the cunty panel. Matt, thank you for joining us, dude. First time, like I said,
absolutely.
Appreciate it. Shout out whatever you got coming up, whatever you want to promote.
Hey man, I'm gonna plug Criticalist through and through. So all you guys are here, movie lovers, TV show lovers, go on criticalist.com, go on the app, start leaving reviews for movies and shows. And then if you have free time, we also do a podcast, Criticalist Cast Unhinged. So, and we're just gonna start having guests on there. So come check us out.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's great. Definitely. Criticalist is awesome. Please.
Criticalist Cast is a good stream. I try to when I see the notifications, I try to pop in and watch, but it's like it's a radio show basically. It feels very much like a radio show that you just tune in and everyone's just like happy and friendly and not trying to go after each other's throats for, gay beers or midget wars or anything like that. So
the thing is we were all sitting in the same room together, so we're all staring at each other.
Okay, that's probably it then. But yeah, no, it is a very good show, and I like watching you guys live when I get a chance to. And yes, also can confirm the Criticalist app is mint. I'm on there a lot.
Yeah, I know. Vex, you're on there. Gord, you're on there. Canola, SE pop up.
I'm over there. I got to actually put a freaking thing in there because I'll not be lazy and put up an actual review. But I do read a lot on there. It's a fantastic app, so please support that.
Yeah, you come say whatever the fuck you want on there too. So
yeah, that's true. Yep. Maybe I will. Next, I'm gonna do it right after the show. Nick, Plot Strikes Back channel's growing, dude. Doing great over there, dude. Shout out what you need to, man. What you got coming up?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And Matt, I'll have to check your stuff out for sure. It's the first time meeting you. So as far as this week is concerned, I'm going to try to make it on to Jacob's 8 o'clock Popcorn Tuesday. If I don't get bogged down with housework. And then I'm going to be on Gooch's channel for Primal, episode 6.
Nice.
With Vex and a few others. And then talking about the OT, episode 4, A New Hope, Wednesday. And then Thursday, I'll be talking about Kaiju number 8 with Niad as well. And then Friday, I will be on Horror with Nads, talking about Stranger Things, episodes 5 and 6, I believe. And I will be dropping my Silo Season 2 review and breakdown video this week as well. I hated what I originally had, and I just, I'm sure everyone's been there when I'm like, I don't like any of this shit, and I'm going to redo it and rewrite it. So, but and then I'll have some more stuff out in the near future as well, talking about The Night Agent on Netflix.
Nice. Yeah, I hear that's a good show.
It is. Season 2. I just finished season 2 last night, so
nice.
I'm gonna do a season 1 and season 2 recap of that.
Nice. Yeah, sure. You got a lot of stuff coming up, dude. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No problem, dude. Niat, my man. I know you're a busy boy too. Videos and alien streams. Jesus. What do you got coming up, buddy?
I probably need to cut down on the streams that I'm on because I'm on 1 or 2 every day now, and it's getting a bit crazy managing that in the channel. But I'll be on the Doolies tomorrow, Gucci's channel the day after that, covering Star Wars. Then I'm going to be doing probably a Dead Space gaming stream in the morning on Thursday. And then we're covering Kaiju number 8. Probably the remake, yeah. Kaiju number 8 after that. Badger Den on Friday. My channel covering Hellboy on Saturday, and then Late Night with Gucci and Gang on Sunday night. And then I'm dropping a few videos over the next week, so
sweet.
Look out for that.
Awesome. Definitely looking forward to it. White Bear. Are you still you haven't been making your videos lately, have you?
No. I found a game from 1997. I said, "Fuck y'all," So, anyways, but I should. I'll be working on. I'll be working on some stuff here soon that we've been talking about in chat and all that. So we'll see. We'll see if we want to actually go ahead with that. So, till then, just check me out on Whitey on the Twitters or X and all that. And yeah, find me there, all the links, and also share out a bunch of other creators. And we make sure to give that representation.
Oh yeah.
So, doodly do.
Doodly do is right.
Whitey, I have a content recommendation for you. Play that like Final Fantasy-esque pixel porn game that I sent you. There you go.
God.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, let's do that.
Got you.
Oh my God. Please stream that.
You can monster breed. I was like, oh, this looks really cool. And then the guy's just like, you almost forget that you're playing a porn game. And I was like, what?
That dropped so out of left field. I was like,
Yeah.
excuse me?
Yep, I saw that. That's hilarious. Oh my God. Speaking of porn, Gore King, you have some no. Yeah, I know you got your Red Dead 2 streams, and you got some stuff coming up soon, right? From
let's see. I'm not gonna do a Gore Tier Tuesday stream tomorrow. I'm actually gonna do a Red Dead stream.
Nice.
I'm gonna try to work on the structure of the other live show, but but next week I'm gonna do one where I give a detailed review of Aladdin, because I'm getting ready to drop a poorly explained video for that movie. Tomorrow I will be also streaming with Jacob Ironside talking Hacksaw Ridge, so that should be fun. Other than that, I guess next Thursday I'll be on with Pops. We're gonna be chatting about Master and Commander, which he has never seen.
I've never seen it either. Oh,
okay, that's added to the roster now. For
like Master Commander is one of those cure your testosterone deficiency movies.
I know.
That's Russell Crowe's best film. That's his best film.
It probably is. Like it's
better than Gladiator.
Better than Gladiator. World's better.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Gladiator's a pile of shit next to Master. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, Gladiator 2 is a pile of shit, but
hope and honor, strength and honor. Yeah, I like your Pops videos. First of all, they're on really early here for me on the West Coast, but I like that because it gets my workday started.
I've liked that we've covered movies that we've had in
it's good. It's a good show
that have good reputations, but that we can pick apart.
Yeah,
like we did Contact last week, which I can't believe that movie has garnered the reputation it does. That's a very mediocre film.
Yeah, no, it's a very good conversations you guys have over there. So go check that out. Of course, Gore King, check out his channel. He's got some good stuff as always. Vax, I'm not going to promote you because I over promote and you never get a chance to promote yourself. So go ahead and promote yourself.
Okay. I mean, you can just to Sean Calloway. Listen, I'm not paid as a producer to promote. So when I get paid as a producer to promote, then I'll,
That is true.
I'm still waiting for my shirt, by the way.
I know. I got to work on that.
No, just tomorrow Gucci is doing Primal with Nick as well. And Sundays on my channel, 10 a.m. Eastern. I do early morning Vexhibitionism. I don't know what I'm going to discuss this week. I've had guns on my last 3 thumbnails, so maybe I should change it up a little bit.
Well, for what we have coming up, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Companion comes out this week, so maybe I'll review that. If not, I did start watching the show Friday Night Lights, and I'm kind of addicted. It's good.
Good.
Nice.
I don't give a fuck about football, but I'm loving it.
You will.
Nice.
I was curious. I noticed when me and Cannoli first thought you were talking about
I thought it was the movie.
I was like, the movie's fine. But yeah, then you brought up it was actually.
Y'all were talking about Varsity Blues this whole time. So I had all these memes ready to make fun of you.
Oh God, you guys are hilarious. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, Vex's Sunday morning shows are freaking hilarious. And
I cried last week or this past Sunday.
The snow owl.
Yes, I got excited by seeing an owl outside my window.
Yeah, the one time I get on the show, I hear her going, "Oh my God, there's a snow owl!" I'm like, "Okay."
I brought this up today on my stream when Vex freaked out of the snow at first because you don't know what she's freaking out about. I thought we were about to get like a live reveal that she had gotten her citizenship pass. I thought she was going to tell us, "I'm coming to the States, everyone." I was like, I was getting really excited. And she's like, "There's a snow owl outside." I was like, "Oh."
Fucking snow.
I like owls, man. Okay,
and then she couldn't get a picture. Jesus Christ, Vex, come on.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. As far as MMM in the future, the channel, we'll be back to our normal, regular week-to-week rotation. Of course, now that my eye aids are improving. So we got February coming up, right? Any normal person maybe celebrate Black History, do a MLK, Malcolm X. No, we're going with the whitest people in the history of cinema, and we're doing Twilight Month for the entire month of February. We had so much fun doing the first Twilight movie. We said, let's just pick February to do all the other movies. So was it New Moon, I think is the next one?
Yes,
probably.
Oh God, fucking kill me. So yes, that'll be next week, 9 p.m. East. We have a good
Kansas City faggot.
We have a really good panel for that one. Actually, we have here. I got the panel. We have Sassy coming to be on that one. Price of Reason. Naughty is supposed to be the age. You have AJ. I didn't know AJ liked that shit.
It's got the werewolves. That's why he picked that one. Out of all of them, he picked that one, and it was for the werewolves.
Oh no! Does that mean he likes it unironically?
I don't know. We'll see.
We're gonna find out.
He's a furry.
I enjoy Twilight. Ironically, they're hilarious, but
they are
AJ might actually like it.
Yeah, I watched. There was a whole big thing. I won't get into. I was having trouble finding Nosferatu on the high seas, but Vex corrected me.
Because you're a retard. That's why you had trouble.
Listen. I admitted that in the chat, so relax. So
fought me on it first. I'm like,
I did.
Retard.
And then I was like, oh yeah, I found the good version. Never mind. So yeah. Anyway, I watched the first 50. We watched the first 15 minutes of New Moon, and I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, it's the same. Nothing changed from the first movie. It's so bad. And then I was like, thank God I found Nosferatu. We switched to that immediately. But I'm looking forward to diving into that because, wow, these movies are ass. But they're going to be fun to talk about and break down. So look out for that. Please go subscribe to everybody else here. Literally fantastic content creators. Worth your time, even Vex. So we are going to say goodnight. Thank you to the panel. Thanks for everybody showing up. First time people, everybody else, Niat again, Matt, Nick, you guys were awesome. Love to have you back eventually, of course.
Yeah, of course.
So I'll be on Niat's channel in 2 weeks, actually, finally. Jesus.
Wait,
yes, sir.
Are you going on for Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon, I will be there.
Yeah, buddy, I'll be there too.
Nice. I had to pick that one because I fucking love that movie. So
if only it were Lethal Weapon 2 and I could be
Shut up.
Heresy.
Shut up.
Hey.
Yeah, go ahead, Whitey. Sorry.
No, I just don't be disparaging my Lethal
No,
Weapon.
I'll be fucking with my movie, man.
Come on now.
Wow.
Thank you to the chat. Thank you for the super chats and the membership, all that stuff. I love you guys. We'll be back again next week. Say goodnight, everybody. We love you and goodbye.
Wow.
Bye.
Bye.